Here's a cold, hard truth you need to swallow right now. You are not a soldier, you are a librarian, and the world is full of people who love burning libraries. You've stacked your shelves with everything you think you'll need: food, tools, supplies. You've even put a fancy lock on the door, and you stand there, proud, thinking you've built a fortress. What you've actually built is a very well-stocked pantry for the first organized, desperate group that decides to take it. Your fantasy of defending it with force is a joke. You'd last as long as a snowball in hell before you were overrun, and everything you've hoarded would become their reward. So, what's the alternative? Do you just give up? No. You learn from the people who were masters at protecting priceless things: people, radios, weapons, while living under the boots of the most intrusive, suspicious regime imaginable. You learn from the French resistance. Their best defense tricks were never about shooting. They were about shushing, about becoming invisible, about making their secrets so boring, so mundane, so perfectly ordinary that the enemy's gaze just slid right over them. This is the art of the silent defense. And you, with your loud gear and your visible stockpiles, are screaming for attention. Let's crush your operator fantasy immediately. You think security is a spectacle. It's cameras that beep, lights that flood, gates that clang. In an occupied country, that spectacle would get you a one-way ticket to an interrogation cellar. True security is the absence of signal. It is quiet, still, and profoundly boring. The resistance fighter's goal wasn't to win a fight. It was to avoid having one, because any fight would bring the entire crushing weight of the system down on his network. Your goal in a breakdown scenario is identical. Draw attention, and you draw a target. So, how do you hide in plain sight? First, we talk about spatial illusion. The resistance became master carpenters of deception. They didn't just hide things under floorboards, they built new floorboards. The false panel wasn't just a loose board, it was a perfect, seamless match, dusted with the same grime, nailed with the same rusted nails, and often placed in the most obvious, least suspicious place, like the back of a closet everyone had already searched. Their genius was in the dead space exploit. Look at your staircase. The space between the wall and the stairs is just dead air. They'd build a cavity there, accessible only by removing a section of baseboard that looked permanently fixed. The modern application is staring you in the face, but you're too busy buying safes that scream, "Valuables inside." Look at your kitchen kickboards, the back of a built-in bookshelf, the void behind your bathroom vanity. These are dead spaces. Your job is to become a quiet, clever carpenter, not a loud, proud prepper. All right, a joke to see if you're still with me, or if your ego has clicked away yet. What's the difference between a resistance cache and a prepper cache? The resistance cache is hidden inside a rotting potato sack in a damp cellar, and it contains the only radio transmitter for a region. The prepper cache is in a polished, labeled ammo can in the garage, and it contains more ammo cans. One is a lifeline, the other is a hobby. Now, let's talk about your biggest liability: sound. In the silent, paranoid hush of occupied streets, the wrong sound was a death sentence. The hum of a radio, the clang of a tool, the whine of a generator. The resistance developed auditory baffling. This meant placing noisy activities against naturally noisy backgrounds, running a printing press only when a train was passing, or masking the sound of a radio with the predictable, loud chiming of a public clock. For you, this is critical. That generator you're so proud of, it's a dinner bell. The solution isn't just don't run it. The solution is acoustic nesting. Build its enclosure inside a larger enclosure filled with sound-absorbing material, rock wool, old blankets. Run it only during predictably noisy times, during a midday storm, or when the nearby highway has rush hour traffic. Bury its exhaust to muffle the signature. You must think of sound as a tangible, searchable light beam you are emitting. Your goal is to be a black hole of noise. But the ultimate weapon was psychological camouflage, the psychology of the banal. A resistant safe house wasn't filled with mysterious trunks. It was filled with boring, mundane, slightly shabby junk. A critical document wasn't hidden in a false book. It was hidden inside a legitimate, tedious municipal ledger on a shelf of other identical ledgers. A weapon wasn't wrapped in silk. It was greased, wrapped in burlap, and placed in the coal bin, looking like a rusty piece of machinery. The principle is, the boring object. The human eye and mind are trained to seek novelty, value, and threat. They skip over the boring. So you must make your most vital assets look like the most boring things in your world. Your best food stores shouldn't be in shiny mylar bags. They should be repackaged into plain white flour sacks, labeled as clay, pottery, or seeds, feed corn 2018, and stored on a dusty shelf in your garage next to real junk. Your valuable tools shouldn't be in a pelican case. They should be lightly coated in used motor oil and thrown in a toolbox filled with genuine broken tools. You must learn to see your own stuff with the dismissive eyes of a looter. If it looks like trash, they'll ignore it. Your pride wants things shiny and organized. Your survival demands they look worthless. So, the forbidden knowledge of the French resistance boils down to this. Defense is not a display. It is a void. It is the creation of nothingness where your treasures actually live. It is the cultivation of boringness as a shield. It is understanding that the lock on your door is less important than the fact that no one wonders what's behind it. Stop building a monument to your preparedness. Start practicing the art of being forgettable. In the chaos to come, the most powerful thing you can own won't be a thing at all. It will be your invisibility,